Good morning, everyone. You might be wondering, where am I? Where is Miss Adrian? I am in the butterfly garden in our new hammock. It's so much quick little butterfly garden update. So the first thing is we have a hammock in the back of the garden by the gazebo. You can see where I am. And a couple of things before we get to the rest of the garden. There are some rules with the hammock. One person in it at a time, and only one person touching the hammock at a time. So if there's someone in the hammock, no one else can be pushing them in the hammock. Now, the only caveat to that rule, or the only exception to that rule, is that if there's a very small child in the hammock and a teacher is pushing them, that is okay. But we don't want to wear it out and break the hammock before we've all enjoyed it, right?
The next new thing are these awesome, comfortable chairs. We've got a little bench and 2 chairs here. You can see we've got some in the distance, but they're not going to end up there. We're going to end up probably flattening this space out here next to the hammock and putting the chairs there. I'm starting you in the back of the garden today, which is kind of funny, but you get to see all the new things we put in. We had a family gardening day on Saturday, the 17th, and we had some families plant all of our new plants. So this gardening bed, that gardening bed, and that gardening bed got planted. But these two still need more plants that haven't quite arrived yet. They hopefully will arrive on the 23rd of April. But we've got, these will get really large. You can see they're kind of alternating. Now all the plants we put in are pretty small now, but will get bigger. And then over here, these will also get really large and we'll get blue flowers on them. So this will fill this whole space here, and then we'll put some plants in the front. Over here you can see our hydrangeas have grown a bunch, and our yarrow is about to bloom. Look at the beautiful color that's going to come out of it. And sunflower seeds, that's funny. But look at that guy. This yarrow is ready to bloom too. We planted some more yarrows in this bed here, and this is the color they're gonna come out. They're gonna be like a reddish, pinkish, but there will also be some orange in there, I believe. It's gonna be a bunch of different colors on one. This lavender was planted last month and it's already grown so much that it's got a little bloom, and the wormwoods have already doubled in size. In this bed, we planted some bush form polygalas, which will look like that. And we planted some polygala grandifloras. And grandiflora just means it's gonna get big. Large is grandi, and flora is plant. So it's gonna be large, and it's gonna get probably 7 feet tall. We have these in circle 3, circle 1, and I think that's it. And the front of the garden, of the 7 circles garden. And then we have the bush form in circle 2. And they're evergreen, meaning they always have leaves. And they always have these beautiful little magenta flowers. The funniest little shape that the bees, the carpenter bees especially, just love. So you can see we alternated. We did the large ones in the back, and then this bush form in the front. This is going to be a sea of purple and green, which is going to be great. We also cleaned out the river, so it's all nice and fresh. Over here, these are our coreopsis, and we planted that last month and it's already doubled in size. And the ones by the front of the garden are already ready to bloom, which is really exciting. We also planted these lavenders last month. Again, they've doubled in size, and they all got blooms, and the bees have been so excited about them. That's also a sunflower. growing up there, and so is right there. This is another one of those Polygala grandifloras that's going to get really large. And our white geraniums. Over here in this, we call this the mound, we have lots of things getting ready to bloom. Like, look at this little guy. And our sages and these Watsonias, these are all over the garden and they're just gorgeous. Our sea thrift over there. Another thing that I've been adding to the garden are these little signs. These are Cranesbill's geranium, these little purple flowers. And I think that labeling the plants is kind of a fun thing so that people can learn what the plants are that they're seeing. So these, in this section going down there, it doesn't have irrigation or watering system, so I planted bulbs. So these guys will just get watered during the winter, will come up late spring it looks like, and these are gonna have incredible flowers on them if they do bloom. Over here, our camellias are doing really well. You can see all of this is already new growth. Looks like we're gonna get a few more flowers. And our lamb's ear.
One of the things I wanted to do in this garden during the remodel is to kind of create experiences. So there's a little bench next to this lamb's ear, and I put lavender and lamb's ear near a lot of the benches so that you can smell something fresh, something wonderful while you're sitting, and you could reach down and pet a really soft lamb's ear. So there's all these little mini experiences throughout the garden. Another one is as you go through the little arch, you'll get the smell of the lavender and you'll get the smell of the camellias going through. Down by the bench where the geraniums are, there's the lavender and the geraniums, and people love those smells, so they'll get to smell that as they're sitting at the bench.
Through here, you'll see that the roses are just going wild, and so are these Watsonias. On the more humble side, our milkweed looks like it's coming back, which is a great thing, and our echinacea is gonna bloom, which is great. This was planted at the last gardening day, and it looks like someone put a lot of sunflower seeds in one little spot. So what I'll have to do is thin them out so there won't be as many in one little spot. As we move down, all of our feverfew is growing a lot. They're gonna get little white flowers on them. And this is our shrubby rock rose, and look how gorgeous. This one's a little double-headed one. Like I said before, this is the Watsonia plant, and it's just so excited to be here. You can see this feverfew is gonna bloom here, and it is had a few little old blooms, but it's really gonna start blooming quite soon. And the roses, looks like the first batch of roses are almost done in quite a few of these. So I'll pop those off, deadhead them, meaning cut the little tops off, and it'll produce more roses. But if you get the chance, come down to the garden and just smell them. They smell incredible. In the Seven Circles garden, the Pride of Madeira, which is this plant, is blooming and the bees are going nuts over it. This one is only 1 year old, so it won't bloom this year, but it'll bloom next year. Another thing we planted at this family garden day is a few more grasses. We filled out these open spaces with the same grass, or at least a similar grass, so that it'll be nice and full. Here's another one there. And we planted a few more of these lion's mane plants. These are orange and they're gonna look so cool when they finally grow. One more thing moving forward is where I have put these pink flags are places that I want to put more roses or that we have just planted a baby rose. So in the future we'll fill this area out even more with probably pink and yellow roses.